What do you think about the new Trump deal? What do you think about the announcement that 1.8 million Palestinians will be taken away from Gaza? 3 days have passed from this historical moment. We were thrilled, sitting there watching live on TV the biggest announcement since ever. President Trump did something that nobody did before him. He thought in an original way. No more evacuating Jews, not more people are settling down, but just to think of an original way of the concept. Honestly, we were very surprised for such a clear voice. Apparently, since then, it wasn't only us that were surprised. The American government, the Palestinians, all the Arabic world, and generally all the world came and attacked this idea and thought about it and asked question about it. So what's our perspective 3 days after? Before I'll start, I want to share a story. One time in Europe, there's a very famous rabbi named Chafetz Chaim, Israel Meir Cohen Radin. He was a very righteous person, learned Torah all day, but also did a lot to commit to the sense that you don't get money out of learning Torah. He wanted also to work for a living. He had a small grocery shop. Anyway, one day somebody came to him and fought against him, and one of his students came to defend his rabbi. And he said to this person quietly, this rabbi is a big righteous person. He says, really? What is he so righteous about? He says, I'll tell you a story about him. So he has a grocery shop, and one day he's lying there in bed at night, and he hears people, burglars, coming inside the store to steal. So the student says to him, and my rabbi is such a righteous person, he didn't want them to be thieves and to steal. So he opened the window and he shouted, everything is for free, everything is for free, come inside and take. You understand? He told them he's such a righteous person, he didn't want them to steal. So he said everything and declared it's free so they can take it. The person, of course, looks at him and says, come on, what is this story? That sounds like a fake story. Who does that? He says to him, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe it never happened. Let me ask you a question though. Did somebody ever will tell a story like that about you? This story tells you something. The level of respect and honor we gave this rabbi in the story tells you something about his level. A simple person wouldn't get such a story. I think the story of the declaration of President Trump is exactly that. Prime Minister Netanyahu said it in the press conference just before the announcement, and he said, in the beginning, President Trump says something, declares something, and everybody is shocked. After you close your jaw, you think about it, you scratch your head, and you think to yourself, it was indeed a clever idea. I think that just for the first time ever, we hear the world leader like Donald Trump saying something that is original. He looked at the situation and he understood how much sorrow, how much hatred, how much crying, how much suffering the Hamas and the Palestinian regime gave the people of Gaza. Indeed, when you look at that place, has huge potential. It really lies there on the coast. We evacuated there in 2005 with the promise it's going to be the new Singapore. The potential was there. If you're talking about real estate, and Donald Trump, of course, understands in real estate more than I do, there is a big potential there. The problem is that the people who control that area doesn't want it to strive, doesn't want it to develop. So he said an original thought. Let's take the responsibility on the place and let's make it blossom. Let's make it a place worth living. What do I think is going to happen is not so important right now. Obviously, there's a lot of challenges in such a deal. Who's going to take them? How it's going to work? Would they come? But the one thing I want to say is this. We need original thinking. We need people to think outside of the box that don't come with proclamation of we know the Palestinians, we know Israel, we know the area. When you think in an original way, big things can happen. So I must say this. Even if it's not going to happen the way he says it's going to happen, just claiming a story like that tells you a lot about the person. Now, the starting point of the negotiation is completely different. I can think about Palestinians who would say, we would love to go. I can think about Palestinians that says, if we came to a point that Trump wants to throw us away from this area, maybe it says something about our behavior. It could be even a situation where the world is going to see this awful situation, and just like Colombia and Mexico and Canada were shocked in the beginning from requests President Trump gave, they would say, you know what, maybe he has a point. With his power, with his energy, with his strong core belief he has, it might even happen. The one thing I want to say is not what President Trump says. I want to think about what we are going to do now. In the next 4 years, we have an opportunity like we never had before. We have a president who's there in power, in strength, and knows that he wants to help us. And we need to take opportunity here and do everything we can to develop our situation. And it doesn't stop only in the Gaza area. It talks about the Judea and Samaria area. We want to talk about sovereignty in the land. We want to talk about annexation in the area. We want to make a significant change in the area. And if the words about moving people there in Gaza came to the world in surprise, maybe offers just like that can come also to this area. I know it's shocking. Nobody talks about it in Israeli politics. And you even mentioned this word. It could be illegal. But if it was made and thought about in Gaza and the world is trying to reflect about it, is it an option to happen here in Judea and Samaria? And finally, I always say that you can go back to the videos before the election when we hope that he will be elected and after he was elected, but we need to say it again and again. Let's not make mistakes. The only entity in charge is God himself. So as much as we care, we hope, we wish, we pray, and we're so happy with the announcement, let's not forget, we need to continue our praise. We need to continue to send the messages to God, to ask him to bring thoughtful awareness and just think about how much the people of the world needs his influence and how much good can come if people will go and follow God, go read the Bible, go believe in the core moral system that we got from God. And this historical time, CFOIC are super excited to be in the midst of everything, to know that we, with your help, are helping the communities of Judea and Samaria. Who knows? Maybe we will return again to help the communities of Gaza. We did it in the past before 2005. We might go and do it once again. This is an exciting time. This is an historical time. And this is the time that amazing things are happening. I feel blessed. And I feel that this is going to be an amazing 2 years. So let's go and let's see what God is planning for us. Only the best.